No, I'm not back 100%. Although I have really enjoyed my little one. Those of you who've been asking her name is Pippa. And I want to thank all those who sent nice little congratulation cards. That was very nice. I really appreciate those. And yes, I had postpartum preeclampsia. I guess technically I really haven't completely gotten over it. So let's get started on Theresa May and this whole Brexit fiasco.
Good morning, everybody. I've just met with Donald Tusk, the President of the European...
It's very rare that you actually see them head to toe. But this one, you sit there and see she comes up to the podium and she stands there. And as she begins to talk, she actually brings her legs in together. She's making herself tiny at the top and at the bottom. So that's one of your clues that she's beginning to hide.
European Council, where I agreed an extension to the Brexit process to the end of October at the latest. I continue to believe we need to leave the EU with a deal as soon as possible. And vitally, the EU have agreed that the extension can be terminated when the withdrawal agreement has been ratified.
Even now, sitting there watching her read her speech or her notes, she's not really moving. Usually when you see Theresa May, yeah, she has her quick jerky moments as she looks, but she does look a little longer than half a second. It's quick up and down and barely the up part. She's also not moving any other part. She's worn this coat. I swear, I think she's done it on purpose to hide. It's got that really big collar. It envelops her shoulders. It's very loose in there, so you can't see but when you're looking, she's still not moving that much. She's hiding. So we see the legs come in. We're making ourselves small. We're doing barely any movement at the top. Short burst of looking at her audience, and she's in hiding modes. Basically, she's keeping her cards very close. It's an American saying. Your plan is being hidden. You're trying to hide that plan from your audience. And no, it's not a plan for you.
Which was my key request of my fellow leaders. For example, this means that if we're able to...
Key request of fellow leaders, and you see her kind of actually stretch out her back and go up. I wouldn't give this much credence because she's keeping herself so tight in a downward small movement. She actually just might be stretching. Remember what we've said. When you get someone who's that stressed and they're hiding and their muscles go tight, they do have to stretch a whole lot more than a normal person because it gets uncomfortable. Hold your hand in a position that's not natural nor normal. You're going to have to stretch it a lot more often.
Pass a deal in the first 3 weeks of May, we will not have to take part in European elections and will officially leave the EU on Saturday, the 1st of June.
The fact that she doesn't give real good eye contact on the actual date, we could leave the 1st of June, that's a no. So you're not going to leave the 1st of June. The rest of it, where she barely gives eye contact on the key points, when you speak a sentence, you got the subject, the predicate, the verb. Those are like those key words in that sentence that you give the appropriate body language to. It sounds very generic, but I'm trying to explain. So when you see someone give good eye contact on the word the or of or have, it means that they're not looking at you with any oomph to that sentence. It's just a read sentence. So nothing in that sentence has any validity.
During the course of the extension, the European Council is clear that the UK will continue to hold full membership rights as well as its obligations. As I said in the room tonight, there is only a single tier of EU membership with no conditionality attached beyond existing treaty obligations. Let me conclude by saying this. I know that there is huge frustration from many people that I had to request this extension. The UK should have left the EU by now, and I sincerely regret the...
Well, that's another interesting. So she starts out strong, giving eye contact to the audience. The UK should have left. And then she goes down pretty much halfway through that. Well, obviously, many of you already know she's a Remainer. And she has no thought to exit. And then watching her keep her cards so close to her, saying pretty words to you at the moment and hiding right here on this crucial statement should tell you you're going to remain.
Fact that I have not yet been able to persuade Parliament to approve a deal which would allow the UK to leave in a smooth and orderly way.
And she kept her head pretty much down. Even when her head goes up to look at audience, the eyes do not do it. And she does that pretty much throughout the whole thing. She's hiding. At this point, with the knowledge that we have, the information that we have, and the body language that we're seeing, there's an old video I did, somebody brought up. And you see them all talking about it. They were interviewed, Corbyn, other members, and they're all on the same page. None of them want to leave. None of them. So when you see that no eye contact, she has not been able to persuade them. There's no deal that could bring them together because they don't want to leave. Let's see this video. I thought this was interesting.
So will the Prime Minister now remove the ridiculous excuse that there isn't enough time to hold a second referendum with Remain on the ballot paper?
Very tight. And she's looking at someone. So this guy is asking for a second referendum. And she goes and looks at someone else very tight. She's angry, obviously. It kind of made me sit there and think that whoever wants this referendum and whoever does not want the referendum, the guy who doesn't want it is a lot stronger than the individuals asking for it.
Scotland did.
And a little eye roll. So she's looking over in the direction of the individual that's stronger. And then an eye roll back to him, just a curt, like, oh, you put me in a pickle. And I'm talking about this blue man who looks like an Oompa Loompa.
So we must now press on at pace with our efforts to reach a consensus on a deal that is in the national interest. Tomorrow I will be making a statement to the House of Commons.
Now you see in her, she's giving much better eye contact, a deal, a consensus. Those key words in a sentence that you should be giving appropriate body language to because they are your key words. I believe, Britain, you will get a deal. It'll be another type of treaty. You'll be like a tier 2 asset. Yes, I find it laughable at this point. We're going on 3 years. If you like it, please share and subscribe. Thanks for watching.